So, I'm just coming off of a pretty rough couple of weeks with a lot of stuff happening. It's also the last few weeks of school with students, and what's really in the forefront of my mind right now is rest and the importance of rest in our practice and just in everyday life in general. The Buddha did teach that resting is an important part of our practice and that it is an important part of our meditation. As we all know, our bodies and our minds need rest. And we do need to allow our bodies to rest and our minds to rest. Yet our culture is very driven in the direction of not acknowledging this important part of productivity. And I see it a lot in my work with students where, especially this time of year where we've got final exams happening and teachers really trying to control student behavior, and part of the management seems to be in the direction of asking kids to not just do final exams, but also in preparation for the final exams, also take quizzes. And I have to say that I am a little bit guilty of that as well. I can't lie. There is some justifiable reason for asking kids to take some of these quizzes sometimes, and I like to think that I balance out the need for the practice ahead of an assessment that I'm being asked to give a student or a group of students with, the need for rest and whatever else, just kind of chilling out time in the classroom, which I do try to also offer to my students. But, we do have some teachers who get very driven into this idea that I need to test and keep giving homework and all of that, and our students get really so tired and so burned out, and I feel really bad for them. And then for teachers also, this time of year is just rough. And I think every job has that, every job, no matter what it is, has that time of year or what have you that seems to demand more of us. And in those moments, it is really hard to remember to stop and let ourselves have that time to pause and rest and fill our cups, replenish what keeps us going. Our culture tells us that, in order to be productive and in order to be rigorous, in order to be more productive and considered relevant or valid or whatever it might be, that we have to kind of go and keep going. And so much of the time, people just end up getting burned out, stressed out, crashing and burning. Our health fails, our bodies fail. We get sick, we get high blood pressure and diseases and colds, and we become more susceptible to viruses, and we get our mental health declines. We become depressed, stressed, anxious, and they're not separate. I know that when I'm more stressed out, I have a tendency to get more sick when I'm more stressed out. So they're not separate. That mind-body connection is definitely, a real thing. So I've been thinking a lot about how do we combat this? How do we kind of put up a silent resistance against this? And it's kind of hard, right? It's difficult because it's just such a habit energy for us to keep going and push through and not press pause and let ourselves rest and fill our cups. So that's been something that I've been really trying to work with this weekend. This week we also, was a rough week for me because I had every single day after school, we had a meeting, award ceremonies I had to go to for my students. We adopted a dog from a rescue shelter because I needed to add one more thing to my list of things to do, right? So helping her get acclimated and just, just madness. So this idea of rest is really on the forefront of my mind, as a result of my being so overcommitted. I have fallen behind on some of the things that I want to do, like my work for my studies for this class. And thankfully, while this is coursework, it's also a way for me to give myself permission to pause and find time to stop and read the chapters I am told to read for the class, which is actually a wonderful gift because it gives me that opportunity to pause, sit down, read some words, and contemplate them, and do it in a quiet space, in a calm way. And understanding that, that doing so allows me to rest and replenish. And I think there are different ways to do that. This morning I also got to play some music with my pipe and drum band. And that was another way for me to kind of fill my cup a little bit. Instead of grinding away at reading papers and planning lessons and putting together my final exams, I was able to put on my kilt and my ghillie brogues and drag my bagpipes out to one of the local universities and play for their alumni with my band, which is always just a fun thing to do. Making music with people is a great way to connect heart and soul with other people, playing with the other musicians, but then also, seeing the people who appreciate the performance that we put on is also a great way to connect with people that we don't know. So rest and replenishment can look like different things. It can look like sitting down and reading, and it can look like playing music. It can look like crocheting or cross-stitching or playing a sport with some friends, that kind of thing. And it is so important because I noticed that as soon as I got done playing my music with my band, I felt lighter. I felt more energetic again. And I felt like, okay, I can go on. Going to get the groceries didn't feel so burdensome afterwards. Coming home to do laundry didn't seem like the biggest deal in the world anymore. I was able to let go of that idea of these are things on a list that I have to do, and just fall back into the flow of this is correct situation, relationship, and function. And so, this is just what we do, rather than feeling like it's a list of stuff to do on our list of obligations that we build in our heads. As we get stressed out, we have that running list of all these things that we have to get done. And it starts to feel stressful because it feels like, gotta get it done. But when we're able to let go of that a little bit, stepping back from it allows our minds to relax and our bodies to relax. And it's important to find those things that allow us to connect back into that thing that's bigger than ourselves, that reminds us that, if I take 3 hours to stop and play music, the world doesn't fall apart and my final exam is still there waiting for me to write it, but I'll be in a better place and I'll probably be able to do a more efficient job at it because I've given myself the opportunity to rest, to give my brain a break, to let myself relax into something that connects into that stream, the flow of something bigger, connecting into something larger than just myself and my little list of things to do in a day. So Uh, I'm really grateful for this opportunity to read, to stop and read the Buddhist Homiletics book, because it really helped me just kind of have to stop and contemplate. Added 2 things to my day that helped me rest for a change. Thank you.